Anyway, I plan this to come into play a little later on. All right, welcome back, everyone. Looks like there's more old faces than new faces. New face, Avi, welcome. Hi. New to this class, raise your hand. Okay, very good. You guys are in for a treat. We are going to throw you into the fifth dimension tonight. You are going to leave this class in the clouds. We are going to do for you tonight what even Ada can't do for Erwin Diane.
That's a big.
Trust me, Erwin.
I'm going with you.
Follow me on this one.
I'm messing
And
daughter.
the jury has spoken. You guys have said the feedback that I've gotten, of course not directly because everything goes through Saul, but you guys want more interaction. You want more singing. You want more listening. You want less talking. I love to talk, but I'll be quiet for this class so you guys can enjoy it. We have a couple of surprise guests. One is on the way, and one is sitting here now, and we're going to introduce them at certain points during the class. And again, the class is an hour and 15 minutes long. We broke it down in segments, and Sam is my timekeeper, so he's going to let us know when we're ready to move on to the next segment. And the class is basically broken down as follows. We're going to start off with a little practice of Lower Jins Bayat. We're going to go up and down a few times. We're going to have some of you individually try and sing it. We're going to have some critique from people in the class. And we're going to go over a couple of, I'm going to give you another pop quiz. I like this pop quiz thing in the beginning. I'm going to sing 3 different Ma'amat, and you guys are going to tell me which one is Bayat and what are the other ones and what are you hearing. And we're going to go over a couple of housekeeping items quickly, a couple of minutes, just about the class, the site, the blog, registering, posting. We want to get everyone more involved. We're going to introduce our guest who's not yet here, but he'll be here by the time we're ready to introduce him. That's going to be about 10 minutes. Then we're going to go into a Pizmon that actually one of our honored guests, Shlomo Shemer, recommended that we sing in Bayat today. It's called Sur Ya'el. We're going to then go into the Cloud 9 portion of the class where the guest who's arriving, Maury Blanco, is going to bring with him an ode. And we're going to have instrumental improvisation. We're going to have vocal improvisation. We are going to just take it to the next level. And I have another surprise for you guys, so you stay on your toes. We got some interesting stuff. And for those who enjoy the technical side, I want to go into more detail about this thing that we spoke about, quarter tones, because we keep mentioning quarter tones, but I think there's been a little vagueness around what exactly is a quarter tone and how it applies to Bayat and to the other Makamat. And then of course we're going to close. We're going to close with an amazing instrumental Arabic song that I think you're all really going to enjoy. Just close your eyes, sip on your ada, and we'll be in good hands. So, and I want to encourage you guys. This is not a university. This is, all of us are friends. We're part of the same kahal. I want you to get comfortable in our culture. When we sing, the rest of us respond with oohs and ahs. We give applause. I want everyone to feel a little more at home. So for example, excellent. So feel free to scream those out. If you ever listen to Kaltum, you'll always hear these crazy guys in the audience, oh, and they just start screaming like they're about to die. Ah! Okay, so let's get on key. Make sure we're on D. I like to stay with the same key because you could sing Bayat on D, you could sing Bayat on C, you could sing Bayat on A. What that means is that sometimes you can sing a little higher, sometimes a little lower. D is the most common sung Bayat. let's give it a practice run. Ready? From the beginning. Beautiful. Again. Excellent. So I'm going to give you 3 quick mawals, and I'll give you a hint as to what's going to be the difference between them. It's not necessarily the notes, though that's a part of it. It has to do with what we spoke about very early on, that one of the elements of a makam is where you start and where you finish. So pay attention to where I'm starting and where I'm finishing, and also pay attention to the notes. First one. Second one. Third one. So, tell me. It's a tricky one. It's a tricky one. Hold on. Did anyone hear bayat? Which one was the bayat that you heard?
First one.
First one? First one. Anyone think it was something else?
The third one. The third one.
Okay.
Beginning of the third.
Maybe I went off key. It was, the first one was bayat. The second one, now what tipped it off that it was bayat?
Keep going high. You ended it. It was,
The ending. We said from day one in this class, we said, what defines a makam? The lower portion, the closing. It also is the beginning, but it's the closing, right? How we end the makam, where we finish. So you were saying the closing, and the closing finished according to what we were just singing. So yes, bayat. Now who can tell me what the second one was? And this is huh? Hosseini. Good. Anyone else catch it? Okay. Now what makes it? I don't expect you all to know this. This is just like trivia. Don't worry if you don't understand this. Hosseini is basically starting on the fifth. It's ending. Sorry, on the fifth note of the scale. So. Five. That's Hosseini. That is actually the note. It's the tonic and it's called the scale. So you can do whatever you want as long as you end on that note with the regular notes of bayat. You're actually in Hosseini, even though you're singing the same pitches of bayat. So if I'm Hosseini, and the last one, Muhayyad, right? Muhayyad is basically the same thing as Hosseini, except you're ending instead of in the middle, you're ending right on top. You're ending an octave higher than bayat.
Which is number 8.
Which is number 8. You have 8 notes in the scale. You're ending on 8 instead of ending on 1. Right? So bayat. That's bayat. Muhayyad. So it's the same thing, just, and I'll go over octaves a little bit more. Was this confusing?
Could you sing it again?
Sure.
It's 1 octave.
So let me get back to D because I'm having an off night. Bayat. Ending right at the bottom, right? Bayat. Hosseini. Ending on note number 5. And Muhayyad would be right on the top. So that's the lower, that's number 1.
If you look an octave.
This is number 8.
Right there.
So all I have to do is end on top instead of on the bottom.
It's octava.
Octava, 1 octave higher, and you end up with Muhayyad. Now, if you want to get technical, Muhayyad is not exactly bayat because it's not Nahwan on top, which is bayat, but Muhayyad is on top. So you go. Now, if you could pray an entire Salah on that key, I give you a lot of credit. Next week, I can't do it. I know a couple of people can.
On the
Yeah.
first option that you did,
That's why we need these little
hide
kids
one
here.
high, very high,
Yeah.
in the middle, towards the middle. So
I can do whatever I want in the middle, as long as I end at the bottom, because it goes after the ending,
you
not the
always end
middle.
on the bottom, the first note of
Right,
bayat.
right, correct. Okay,
Michael,
yes,
possibly this song is kind of a sample of the Muhayyad we see.
I just did.
I mean,
No,
read
song.
the-
Oh,
something
song.
in the book or something, which is, you know.
La 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 I guess it's a ride. I guess it's a ride. Let's give a round of applause for Maury Blanco. So Maury, I just confused them all for you with Muhayyad, Bayat, and Husseini. So if you make a mistake, they won't know. Okay, let's go over some quick housekeeping. Yes.
Quick question. So let's say you're praying in Muhayya, right? That doesn't mean you're not mixing in
Oh.
Hussein and Bayat. You can
Correct.
go up and down. You just have to end in Muhayya. So it's not possible to really do a whole slot in Muhayya.
To stay up there, no. I mean,
It's not possible.
Well, actually,
I don't know.
didn't you demonstrate us a Havdalah that was based on one note?
Correct. But he's saying Muhayyad has a much higher pitch that's very hard to stay on.
Also, if you're doing bayat, it's not been lower.
Right, you have to have a really, really high pitch voice to be able to do that. Okay, let's move on to some housekeeping items. We'll make this very quick. So I just want to repeat for those people that weren't here. For those people that weren't here in the first few classes, okay, this is the third class. It happens. This is the third class. The series happens every other week, bi-weekly. Saturday night, 15 minutes after Havdalah. It runs for an hour and 15 minutes. We went over a bunch of goals in the first class, but the two goals of this class, I'm going to keep repeating them because they're very important to keep in mind. The two goals are to be able to identify, meaning to listen and understand what you're hearing, and the second is to be able to sing it. Those are the only two main goals. Whether or not you understand this, numbers, letters, diagrams, what goes on top, what goes on the bottom, it's not important. What's important is to be able to understand it, hear it, be able to listen to it, recognize it, and to sing it. And, you know, I think Maury can attest to this. Music lives in the heart. It doesn't live in the head. When you sing from your heart. You can't think your way into good music. Right? So it's not a matter of thinking, it's a matter of feeling. For those people that weren't here, I'm going to circulate an email list with a pen. Please write down in coherent English your email address and name.
We've had issues
We can put you on the list.
deciphering.
So I'm going to just put out there an honest question and be honest with me. How many of you have registered for the blog? By show of hands.
Same.
Okay, about half, maybe a little more. Now, for those who didn't register, give me an idea of why not. Is it complicated? Is it? I'm not being facetious. I just want to know. Is there any way we can get you to register?
There could be newcomers, Mike, also that
Right.
would raise their hands. So.
Right. There could
How
be
many
newcomers.
guys out of here
Right.
that didn't?
Okay, so here's my next
Because
question. I set you up for this question.
Because I got suicidal doing it.
So here's the next question. For those of you who registered, how many of you have actually reviewed the material, have heard the songs, maybe listened to the piece of the class over again? Sure. Have heard the Pismon? What is the Pismon? Okay.
Michael had it on loop.
You know what?
Michael had it on loop all week.
Oh, yeah.
It's not even a joke.
So here's where I'm going to challenge you guys. I need you to post. It doesn't matter who you are or what you say, just say something. I don't like bayat. I heard it in an old age home once. It makes me think of old people. Whatever, just talk. Open up, share. I want questions. I want people to share their thoughts. I'm really getting bayat. Someone shared me before the class. They want them to be Hazan. They tried to do bayat. They ended up in Nahwan. They want to understand why. Right? We can help you.
There's a hotline.
We can help you. So please, post, talk, communicate, and you can help each other. And it's not just me. It's not just my class. There are many people behind the scenes that are very, very technically savvy, musicians, accomplished professionals. They can answer your questions. Okay? Now, having an esteemed Hazan with us, Shlomo Shemer, we're going to introduce him in a minute. Shlomo, can you tell us, I'm going to put you on the spot for a minute. Being a Hazan, right, would you mind if someone came over to you after the Slah, right? Hazan, the full Shahrit, they came up, can I ask you a question? During the Ilufinu, you went higher. What's that called? Does that bother you?
No, no.
Do you encourage that?
Yes.
There you have it. Okay? Ask questions. That's the only way you learn, by asking. I used to ask all the Hazanim until they threw me out. Okay. Okay. Ready? Okay. So let me introduce to you Maury Blanco. Maury is a personal friend of mine. We spent a lot of time together in Israel. We spent a lot of time jamming together my kanun, his ode. Maury is one of the most amazing musicians that I've ever met.
Clap it up. Clap it up.
I know, that's why I didn't tell you and Maury's been playing for a long time. He has several odes. I told him to bring the ones you can hear loudest. Give us a strum, let me hear. Aywa. Okay.
By the way, I put the comfortable blue chair if you want.
Okay. You want to sit this chair? This chair?
Has more cushion.
And Maury actually was the first person I called when I
Is it better if you don't like it? Whatever you want.
Material for this class. I went to Maury and I said, here's what I have. Can you review it? Can you correct me where I'm wrong? So Maury is officially, in my opinion, an expert on Makamat. And while he's here, you can feel free to ask him. And if you appreciate him enough, you might come back a second time. So we're going to
Michael,
start with.
I wanted to say one
No,
thing.
it's
Yes.
okay.
Everyone should also be aware that the recordings we've had online, Maury gave us from the very beginning, and that all the songs that we've been doing in the Youth Minyan have been plugged in, that we're operating on them. So the Youth Minyan is basically just Maury. All the hazards have been going on, and we owe you a big thank you for that as well.
And just the last note, this is a comprehensive strategy. This is a bigger program than just this class. We're looking at the youth. We have here Netanel and we have Yossi. I want to give them, they're both 9 years old. Wow. Give them a round of applause. And it's about training the youth. It's about incorporating this into our prayer. So, without further ado, we're going to start with what we call a taksim. For those who remember, taksim is instrumental improvisation. Welcome, Charles. And since we're focused on bayat, and since we're focused on lower jins bayat, Maury's going to play for us for about 2 minutes, just a lower jins taksim, and then we're going to move into the full bayat scale, and then he's going to play around and hopefully with Muhayyad and Hussein. Is that enough? Sounds good. Okay. recognize the jazz when we changed? If we look at the scale here, we have notes 1 through 8, right? The scale is broken down into 2 ajnas, right? Otherwise known as jins, is a singular. The lower jins is bayat, right? And in the last instance, the upper jins, we call it the shirt, was a hajaz. So when you put the hajaz together with the bayat, you come up with a makam called shuri. Bayat shuri. Right, excellent. And if you take nahwand on top and you finish in bayat, you end up with a traditional bayat scale. And we're eventually going to get to that upper jins in bayat so that we can learn the entire scale, not just the bottom 4 notes. And amazing. Who feels a little better than when they walked in? I tell you, stuff never gets old. So, we're going to go into a pizmon. The pizmon was recommended by Shlomo our Hazan, and the pizmon is called Surya El. Who recognizes it by name, Surya El? Okay, good amount. Now if I sing it. Surya El Melech Haolam. Now, who recognizes it now? A little more? Okay. So this is actually an excellent song for the lower jins bayat, not just bayat, lower jins bayat, because it covers those 4 notes up and down, up and down. And I want to highlight before we start, everyone turn to page 313. Thank my father for teaching me that song. Okay, so I just want to point that I'm going to sing something along before, so you can just pay attention to these specific notes when you're singing it, and then we'll sing the whole song together. Then we can talk about it for a few minutes. Let's sing the first 4 again all together. So Surya El starts on which note? 3. Surya El. Am I right? Okay. So pay attention. Surya. So pay attention to that. That's note number 3. And when you hear the words ha'olam, ha'olam ends on note 4. Melech ha'olam. Note number 4, right? Lecha ra'yonai goes all the way down to 1. Lecha ra'yonai. Lecha ra' is not lecha ra', but lecha ra'yonai is 3, 2, 1. Right?
3, 2, 1, 0,
It goes all the 1. Right. So keep in mind, and then it goes sis is number 2. That's right. Sis zach is number 3. Ram 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. So pay attention to those words when we sing it. Now you're all anxious to sing, I can hear. So let's hit it. And you want to start us off? Yeah. Now, what did we end on over there? Even though this is technically bayan, that would be muhayyab. So, and now we did notes 1 through 4. The next note up, if we could just start to go in that direction. All together. And now if you ever want to just start singing it yourself, right? Just think of Surya El, because Munim are a gateway to Makamat. So if you ever get stuck and you want to, what is Bayat again? I can't figure it out. Pick a song that we've been doing in Bayat, Yahidram, right? Whatever the songs are. And over here, you can actually get to this fifth note. You can go Suraya 3, 4, 5. And now you have a bigger repertoire. Okay. Did anyone notice any other patterns about Bayat when they were singing the song? Yeah.
It felt like, again, in Lozelle, we got in that area, so it changed a little.
Interesting. That's really what's interesting. It's a great point. That Magen al-Zed is really staying on the tonic. What's called a tonic is the bass note of the scale, number 1. So this is a great tip for Hazanut. If you notice, when Mori was playing the Taksim, he would jump around and then he would land on one note, whether that note was number 1, 2, 3, 4. Give an example. Or like so he would play and he would land on a note and then he would dance around that note, make that note the centerpiece of that section. So
what he's saying again is
I know,
starting Bayat.
Right. So what's actually happening in Magen al-Zed is you're actually dipping below number 1, which is also the same as number 7 because it repeats itself. So 8 is the same as 1, 7 is the same as negative 1, right? So
that
it's all Bayat. It's all Bayat. So over here it's going that's note number 7. And what note is that? 4. Is this visual making it easier? It helps. Okay, great. Any other observations? Great observation. Anyone else? Anything jump out? Did we hear any other makamat in this one? Or is this pure? Yeah. Atir Kaz would be Muhayyad. Atir Kaz. Right? That's number
8.
That's number 8. Right? Let's talk about an octave for a second. What is an octave? An octave is actually, technically, it's double the frequency of a sound, is a higher octave. So it's a higher frequency, it's a higher pitch. Now imagine, I thought of a good example. Imagine colors, right? So on a piano you have something like, how many C's? You have like 7, 8, I don't know, something like that. How many C's do you have on an oud?
Mainly 3. You can get up to.
Right, some instruments have smaller, bigger. But think of it like this. Imagine like you have a palette of paint, right? So you have a purple, a yellow, a green. Now every color represents a sound, let's say. Now I could paint the purple, I can paint it darker, then I can paint it lighter on number 8, right? And then number 16 I can paint it even lighter. So it's the same color, it's the same color, but just a different shade. So it's the same note on a different frequency. So an example, why don't you play as a C. Now who could hit me the octave higher? Whoa. All right, one person hit. Let's see. Now hit a D. Want to keep going?
Break the windows.
would be the octave above this first note of bayat, also known as the eighth note of the scale. All right, I think we covered that. I think it'd be a good idea to hear the song over a few times. We're gonna post it on the blog. Remember the blog? Does anyone on the blog? And you're gonna listen to it, look at the words, and post. Ah, I just heard Hosseini. Wait a minute, that was note number 5. I heard that somewhere in the song. Huh? Put the words that you heard it. I heard Hosseini. Is that right? Someone respond. Yes. I actually noticed that myself. Connect. Okay. I think you guys got the point. I think you did excellent. Sounded really, really good. So, I want to introduce you. I don't have to really introduce. He's the main Hazan of this Kehillah. Shlomo Shemer. He's been here, I think, about a year and a half. And I just got to know Shlomo through this class, and he is just an amazing, amazing person. And I was learning his story. He was born and raised in Israel, and he spent about over 35 years in Mexico City, one of the biggest shuls over there, hazaning, teaching the choir, performing. He's actually a trained vocalist and has opera training as well. So give a round of applause for Shlomo Shemer. And Shlomo, if you could join me up here, please. Now here's where we get crazy. This is hold on to your chairs. Okay. So what we're going to do now is a mawal, otherwise known as a petiha, or a vocal improvisation, and we're going to sing Shira Ma'alot Beshuv. It's on page 10. Open to page 10. Now, whoever has sung Bakashot in the past will know that you sing the first few songs, then you go into this Shira Ma'alot. And what it is, it's just a way to open it up. It's like an appetizer. It just gets everyone, wets the palate a little bit. So, what I'm going to do here is you have 7 pesukim in this Shira Ma'alot. And we're going to break it up into 3 groups of 2, and then 1 bonus at the end. So every group of 2 pesukim, Shira Ma'alot, Beshuv Hashem, Shivat Zion Ayim Kechol Yamim, Azim Eretz HaChakmin Hashanenu Nina, that's 2 pesukim. I'm going to take one, Shlomo is going to take one. We're going to do we're going to work on a similar portion of Bayat, and we each have our own style so you can hear it. And then after each section of 2 pesukim, we're going to explain to you what we did and what we're going to do. Okay? The first 2 are going to be on the lower Jins Bayat. So, Maury, give us just a quick That was Loishan's Bayat. Now we're going into Husseini, which is note number 5.
Just went a little bit into that Husseini note, right? So, yeah, we hit it.
Can't go on past you, Danny.
חזר